For math today, you're going to need your Lessons 2 book and page 329. Do you remember the story of the tiny tumblers? These are mountains, and on each mountain lives tiny tumblers. We know how many live on the mountain because that's how many are at the top. So the first row of mountains, 6 tiny tumblers live on each mountain. For some of them, well, for the first example, we have both of the partners, but for the next one, we only have one partner, which means some tiny tumblers are missing. And we need to figure out how many are missing. And remember, there can only be 6 altogether. And then when we get down to this row, there can only be 5 altogether. And then there's a 2 at the end, and we'll pay attention to those numbers as they change. But let's start right here because this one's already done for us and we want to try it on our own. So 6 tiny tumblers live on this mountain. There are 4 tiny tumblers over here, but some of them are missing because 4 is not the same as 6. So how many are missing? That's what we have to figure out. And the way we're going to do that is by counting on. We're going to start at the number 4 and we're going to count and draw until we get to 6. So watch how I do that. I say 4 to help me remember where I'm starting my counting. 4, 5, 6, stop. I got to 6. How many tiny tumblers were missing from this side? 2 of them, because I only had to draw 2 more. Let's try another one. 6 tiny tumblers live on this mountain, but some of them are missing. There are only 3 on this side. Let's find out how many are missing. We're going to start by counting on from the number 3. So say 3, 4, 5, 6, stop. Once we get to our total, we have to stop. No more tiny tumblers can live on this mountain. How many tiny tumblers were missing? 3. And if you look at the bottom, what's happening is we're making equations. 3 plus 3 equals 6. If we put these groups together and we send them all back up, we should get 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another mountain with 6 tiny tumblers, but only 2 are on this side, and we have missing ones over here. So let's find out how many are missing by counting on from the number 2. So I always start by saying, this is like where I'm starting my counting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stop. We got to 6. We don't want any more than 6. How many tiny tumblers were missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 plus 4 equals 6. The last mountain in this row also has 6 tiny tumblers living on it, but some of them are missing. Looks like we only have 1 on this side. So we're going to count on from the number 1 to see how many are missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop. We've filled up. We got to 6 tiny tumblers. How many were missing on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop, 5. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Now let's move down to the next row. At the top of this mountain, we see the number 5. That means 5 tiny tumblers live here. So we don't want to count a 6 anymore. We want to stop at 5. 4 tiny tumblers are on this side, but it looks like these tiny tumblers are missing. So we have to figure out how many are missing. We're going to start counting from the number 4. And when we get to the number 5, we're going to stop counting. 4, 5, stop. How many tiny tumblers were missing? 1. Our next mountain has 5 tiny tumblers living on it, but it looks like some are missing. And we only have 3 on this side. So let's start counting from 3 to draw in the missing ones. 3, 4, 5, stop. Don't go to 6. That was the mountains on the top. Remember, the total has changed now. We want to stop at 5. How many tiny tumblers were missing? 2. Try doing the next 3 math mountains to finish out this row on your own. And then we'll come back together and check and keep working our way down the page. All right, so let's see what you got for this one in the middle here. 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. How many tiny tumblers were missing? 3. Pause the video to fix it if you need to fix it. 5 tiny tumblers live on this mountain. 1 on this side. Let's keep counting to find out how many live on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. How many tiny tumblers were missing from this side? 4. If you need to fix with your eraser. That's Kenny meowing at me. I don't know what he wants, but he keeps trying to come back and forth into the room, and then he wants to leave, and he's really starting to get on my nerves. Our last math mountain in this row, only 2 tiny tumblers live on this mountain, so we're going to stop our counting at 2. But we're going to start at 1. 1, 2, stop. That was easy. 1 tiny tumbler is missing from this side. And you can always check yourself. 1, 2. 2 tiny tumblers live on this mountain. Try the next row on your own. 4 is where you're going to stop counting. 4, 4, 3, 3. Then come back and we'll do it all together. All right, so 4 tiny tumblers, some are missing, 3 are on this side. Excuse me, let's keep counting till we get to 4. 3, 4, stop. 1 tiny tumbler is missing. We want to get to 4 again. This time we have 2. 2, 3, 4, stop. 2 tiny tumblers were missing. We want to get to 4 again, but we're only starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. 3 tiny tumblers were missing. Now we have changed to 3 tiny tumblers living on the mountain, so we're going to stop counting at 3. For this math mountain, we're starting at 2. 2, 3, stop. 1 tiny tumbler was missing. There he is. We put him back. And for the last one in this row, we're going to count up to 3 again, and we're starting with 1 tiny tumbler. 1, 2, 3, stop. 2 tiny tumblers were missing. A note for moms and dads. If counting on is too difficult for your child, they can count all of them. So for example, let's do the example one up here. Instead of saying 5, 6, they could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then start drawing 6. For this one, it would sound like instead of 4, 5, 6, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By now they should be able to count on, but I know that given the situation, that might not be the easiest. And to eliminate a lot of frustration, Counting everything would be okay too. All right, so for the last one, our totals are all 10. So we're going to stop counting when we get to 10 tiny tumblers. And this side of the math mountain already has 9. That's almost all of them. 9, 10. Stop. Only one tiny tumbler was missing. Let's try the next one. We have 8, 9, 10. Stop. 2 tiny tumblers are missing. So friends, if you're having, I just was talking about, if you're having trouble counting on from this number, I'll show you what to do. Let's try the next one by counting all of them. That might be easier for some of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we at 10 yet? No, we need to keep going. 8, 9, 10. Stop. 3 tiny tumblers were missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. 4 tiny tumblers are missing. And the last one, I'm going to count on again. So remember, we're stopping at 10, and we need to start with our 5 that we already have. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many were missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.